Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to
Mind, Body Stuff.
I'm Kaylee.
I'm Bernice.
Who are you? What's your name?
Your voice sounds kind of funny.
Mine?
Your
I know
voice.
I was playing with it a little bit.
You're all, hello.
Hello. Well, you have such a good radio voice. And I have a terrible one. I hate my voice.
No, it's a good. Your voice sounds just like my voice.
No, not at all. No, and I have a little nose.
You have a little sinus
I'm a little
thing.
stuffy.
You sound kind of like a little mouse.
But I'm telling myself I'm not because we're going to Mexico.
That's right. I feel like mine's starting to a little bit. Like my little nose getting stuffy.
Your little nose.
My little nose.
My little nose.
This little nose of mine.
I'm gonna let it shine. Well, if dancing doesn't work out for us, we always have singing.
That's right. And it's warm in Mexico.
It is warm in Mexico.
And you can clear out, my uncle used to say, you just jump in the salt water and wash it all around and it'll clear out any sinus stuff.
Yeah, but that's the same as doing those saline nasal things, which I do too.
Yeah, but more better in the ocean.
More better in the ocean.
Oh, more better.
So, you guys, we have to talk about the podcast we recorded last week with the communication.
Yeah, the five
voices.
Right.
Because here's the deal. We recorded that podcast without even taking the test because we're idiots.
Well, I'm kind of glad that we didn't, though.
Well, it's funny. I mean, for me, that kind of makes me feel embarrassed because I like to be prepared for things, you know? So it's kind of like, why wouldn't we have taken the test when we decided to film a whole entire podcast episode about it without even taking the test?
But that makes it even more enlightening and more appealing, I think, to me because it's like we didn't do it and then we had opinions already about who we were.
Yes. I just hope that it was valuable to our listeners with us bullshitting because we literally knew nothing about what we were talking about.
Yeah, and the other thing is you have to remember tests are, you know, they're super hard to design tests. I took a whole course on it in graduate school, and it's really hard to get the true answer of the person. So we could be partially right about how we view ourselves, or we could be partially wrong. But anyway, topic is...
The bottom line is we were 100% wrong
about who we are.
Like we were like about me, we're like, oh, maybe like pioneer.
I'm like, you're the pioneer.
And then creative, you know, and I was like, I'm so not a nurturer. And I think I was even saying on this podcast, like, I so wish I was more of a nurturing type, but I'm not. Well, my number one was nurturing. My number two was connector. And then it was like, I don't know, guardian, and then creative, and then last was pioneer. So literally, I think mine were completely opposite.
Yeah.
What I thought I was, or what we kind of decided we were, what I was, and then what I actually tested as. So who knows what I really am, but what I tested as was so different than what we assumed.
Right.
And what about for you?
My number one was creative.
You're very creative.
But I don't see myself as creative. I see myself as like, you know, like, I thought I was the guardian.
Yeah, but you don't do anything by the rules.
I don't. Yeah, and then I thought about it. I really don't follow the rules very well.
You make your own rules, and then you follow those rules.
Very strongly.
Very, very strongly your own rules. But you have made these rules up. Which is really cool because it actually goes so in line with like what we talk about a lot at workshops and stuff. You always ask the question, well, where's the rule book? You know, we have all these rules that we follow. We're like, I can't sleep in past 9 o'clock.
Right.
Or I must be out of bed by, 7 a.m. every day.
I must do all my chores before I can do something fun.
And it's like, well, where's the rule book? And I just love that question. I think it's great food for thought for everyone listening. Like, the rules that you hold yourself to. Like, where are these rules written?
They're made up rules. Yeah.
But we punish ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
For not following these rules that really don't exist.
They don't exist.
So how much are we making ourselves miserable? They've been handed
down maybe, through generations.
Yeah. Or we made them up on our own.
Or we made them up to sometimes to correct generational stuff.
Sure, yeah.
You do the opposite. Like, well, then I will wake up by 8 a.m. every day because my family always woke up late or whatever.
Yeah.
Or people always thought of us as lazy. But we're not lazy. Whatever it is, you do the opposite. But I think that's fascinating that, it's like, make up your own, at least figure out what rules work for you.
It's so fascinating. So it might be fun for you guys if you have taken the test. Just do you think that those results are what you expected? If you haven't taken the test, just even reading briefly about the 5 different voices and then just maybe taking a guess at which you think describes you.
Yes, you should write down what you think.
And do what we did.
Yeah. And be like, I think I'm a guardian.
And then don't film a podcast about it yet.
Yeah, right. Don't do a podcast.
and then do the test. It's really fascinating.
It was
totally
fascinating.
Surprised.
And then how they talk about creatives for me is they're kind of like that. They're kind of like, they have a hard time sometimes expressing their ideas. Where like Kaylee and I will be doing choreography and she'll be like, yeah, but what's the count? And I'm like, there's no count. Like, just can't you feel it there? And she's like, yeah, but your left foot did something different than your right. And then you changed it. And I'm like, did I? And, but that's funny thing where you start noticing those things about yourself.
It is really interesting.
Where it's like, oh yeah, I don't, and I don't follow rules very much, even though I like to enforce them. But I'm flexible with them too.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah,
and it's so funny because I don't associate with being a nurturer.
You are,
but everyone is like, dude, you have 3 children and you started ULA, like all of these, it's like.
And you're always worried about people. You're like, so-and-so.
I'm always worried about people.
And I'm not a nurturer. I scored low on that. I knew I would anyway.
You are not a nurturer.
Not a nurturer.
But you have all these children and pets.
I do have a lot of pets and children. I do like taking care of them, but not like a lot of things. Like nurturers, I think, are just broadly nurturing.
You will nurture those who are in your family or your dependents.
Or in need. If someone's suddenly like, I've lost my foot. I'm like, well, we'll help you get a new foot.
Right.
But it's not like, I'm not going to guess it.
Right.
It has to be kind of blatantly in front of me. Where you're much more like, I think, Jane seemed unhappy today. I'm like, she did?
I better check in with her.
She looked fine. And you do, and you were a connector too. We were all connectors, which I thought was interesting.
When she says all, she means the people who work in our office.
Yeah, all 4 of us. Which I don't see myself as a connector, but
you connect. I think we get confused when we say maybe, I don't know, like I feel like you connect different parts of things to make a whole. Like I think you help people understand how the mind and the body are connected. Or, how to connect different parts of ourselves.
Oh, that's true.
Not necessarily like, I'll connect Jane with Sue.
Yeah,
it's like,
I would never do that.
I think there's a bigger meaning to connector there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But kind of going back to the nurturer part, I think part of being a nurturer, okay, now I'm owning being a nurturer. Part of being a nurturer is I'm very concerned about people's feelings. And so what we really wanted to talk about today was like, and it was triggered in our last podcast, I think, about what are we so scared of in conflict? Like, why are we afraid of conflict? So I think for me, it does tie into being so concerned with how other people feel. And so I'm very afraid to like hurt people's feelings or to have people feel left out or have people feel, whatever. And so conflict is really hard for me because I feel like it's going to affect how the other person feels. What about you? What do you think is...
Do you think some people are good at conflict?
Yes.
Yeah. Mike's good at conflict.
Rob's good at conflict.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how are you so good at this? Because Rob had 3 difficult conversations this weekend that all had to do with like business. 3 different businesses, 3 different conflicts were happening. So he had to have 3 different difficult conversations. And I was like, do you get like scared for these? He's like, no. And I was like, how do you not get scared? He's like, because I use logic and reason.
Logic and reason. Oh, there
He's
we
like,
go.
So how can you get your feelings involved when you're like, but these are the facts. And I'm trying to be reasonable.
Yeah,
and I expect you to be reasonable with me. And these are the facts. So if you lay out the facts and then you're reasonable.
And you're reasonable. That's the thing, is you're reasonable.
I think he just puts his emotions aside when it comes to conflict. But what about you?
I don't like conflict because I think the people aren't going to like me. I think ultimately.
I think that's a big one.
Yeah. And
for a lot of us.
A lot of people. Yeah. I think it's like, oh no, we'll have conflict and then they won't like me.
And so if we go underneath that in therapist words, what do you care if they don't like you? What is that? Okay, so maybe somebody doesn't like you, then what?
Well, then that sort of taps into the bigger, deeper question of feeling abandoned and being ostracized from my group. It's suddenly, now that's that sort of...
now I don't belong.
Yeah, now I don't belong feeling, which comes from childhood. So it taps in. Of course you belong. Like, of course I belong.
Just because you got in an argument with the lady on the street doesn't mean now you don't belong to your
now
community.
Now I don't belong.
Right.
And I won't be accepted. But it must be so deeply ingrained in the psyche. There's totally that fear of like, oh no, and then somehow everyone will know. I didn't do that well. And they're going to be
now
like,
it makes me a bad person.
Now I'm a bad person, and bad people don't get to be here.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get to be part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a but that's so emotional.
It's so emotional.
Like what you're saying, what Rob does is uses logic. It's more logical, like, well, what you did wasn't right, or maybe we have a conflict over what you did. Maybe you thought it was right and I thought it was wrong.
Yeah,
that's okay. But we have a conflict. There's not emotionality attached to it.
Yeah. And you know what I've been realizing, and I hope this isn't changing the subject, but what I've realized is that people, and I've noticed myself do this, use emotions in conflict to manipulate.
Oh, good point, Kaylee. That's very good.
Because I was having this business conflict. I've spoken to some of you out there about this. I was having this business conflict last week. And the woman I was in conflict with, she was over text using incredibly emotional language.
Like,
this breaks my heart.
Oh, breaks your heart.
Like things like, this breaks my heart. Yeah. Should I be worried? Oh my God, what am I going to do?
So sort of catastrophic. Like it's
yes. And so then so then that just like, oh my gosh,
I'm responsible.
Now I feel responsible for you. Yeah. So logic and reason now kind of go out the door.
Right.
And what's fair. And, and so then I pick up the phone and I call Rob and I'm like, oh my God, Rob, what do I do in this situation? And he's like, well, listen, these are the facts. You've got the email trail to date and show everything, support and all of the information. Like, he's like, don't worry about it. But for me, either this is her personality or she knew my personality. Right. I'm sure it was both.
It was probably both, yeah.
But I think it's probably her personality. Is she probably didn't take the time to stop and get right in her own body and her own experience and then be able to type and text from a position that was logical and reasonable. It was all emotional. And then as a nurturing type or someone who's afraid, maybe part of mine is too a fear of not being liked, then I'm like, oh my God, she's not going to like me.
Right.
And then she's going to tell everyone that I'm a terrible person. And then everyone's going to believe her. And then, then I won't belong.
I won't belong.
Because doing all this workshop work, going through the chakras, one of the greatest fears of humans is to not belong. Mm-hmm. Because it taps into the root chakra, which is our foundation, our sense of belonging, of community, of security, of safety. And the greatest fear that goes along with the root chakra is that I won't belong. I mean, and if you think about humans, they had to belong for so long to be safe.
Dependent on each other for survival. It's not like nowadays where you just ran to the grocery store.
Right.
To back
go get
then,
your lunch.
Yeah, they're like, get out.
Get out.
Like, get out. And
now I'm on my own.
And now you're on your own and something's going to eat you, most likely.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to get enough food for the winter.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And it was really a matter of survival.
And I don't think we've ever fully released that.
No, because we've only been living in this type of lifestyle for a very short period of time. So we're just like, I could understand why conflict is just something we don't really want to take part of.
Yeah.
It's funny for me, it's like once conflict starts, then I'm kind of good at it. Mm. But it's the anticipation of it.
You are good at, but yes.
It's but once it starts, I'm kind of like, okay, now we're in conflict. So now we have to problem solve.
Yeah.
But it's the anticipation of it before it happens. Mm-hmm. Like, oh no, this conflict's going to start. Mm-hmm. And I have these sort of irrational fears about it. Mm-hmm. And then once it starts, I'm like, oh, so now here it is.
Yeah.
So now I kind of know what to do with it. It's almost like I'm afraid of it just happening.
Yeah.
And then so I get myself in all sorts of trouble instead of just being like, well, if you don't mind it, why don't you just jump right in?
Right.
But
I
still don't want to make anyone upset.
I don't want to make anyone upset either. But I feel like...
But the problem is the more we wait...
The bigger,
the worse it gets versus just being like, hey, you know what? I really need you to, water the plants every day, whatever it is, at the house or something. And then the person isn't doing it and you're waiting and waiting and waiting. And I don't say anything maybe for 6-7 days. And then suddenly I'm like, water the plants. And they're just like, whoa, like they have no idea that I've been building up all this energy towards this imaginary conflict that I haven't really been sharing with the other person.
Right.
I think I get myself in that trouble a lot. Where I kind of hold it and hold it and hold it and hold it. And suddenly I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
We didn't even know this bothered you.
Right. Right. Totally.
And it's because I've been afraid of the initial part
Yeah.
So then I have to let it, avoid, and I let it build into this massive pressure cooker.
Yes, totally.
And then they're just like, what is happening?
Right.
You seemed fine for like 2 weeks.
About the plants.
And suddenly you're like, this is the end of the world.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
Which is an interesting, isn't that like passive aggressive or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Well, and I think we do avoid it, or I feel like we then compromise our beliefs, our values, our, I don't know, what's important to us than to compensate for the other person or to make space for the other person when we don't really want to be doing that. And then we're grumpy about that.
Oh, good point. Yes.
You know, so it's like, okay, yeah, sure, fine. I will take care of your dog every single day for the next year, but I'm going to be pissed off about it inside. Right. And then that's actually going to probably create a bigger conflict in our relationship than telling you, no, I don't want to watch your dog.
Right. Good point. That's a very good point.
You know, and I think a lot of people get themselves in that situation too, is maybe, you know, one way is you bottle up inside, which is what you're talking about with watering the plants, or you keep doing something, you keep doing and giving and whatever, and it's like you're getting so pissed off inside, and you're compromising your own wants and needs and desires, and I think that is very common. I think people do that all the time. Sure, I'll do that for you. I don't mind. I'll take care of that for you.
And nobody can even tell that you didn't want to do that anyway.
And I think maybe women especially, we have an issue with we want to be perceived as nice.
Yes. And it's giving.
And conflict isn't nice always, you know? No. We're afraid of like, oh my gosh, but then what if they think I'm mean?
Right.
You know, I was just telling one of my friends too, because we were talking about this issue coming up in both of our lives. And I was like, having boundaries doesn't mean that you're mean.
No.
But I think we get that confused.
We do, because what we don't really have boundaries. Or I think that's when people get in trouble, is we are boundaryless for a while, and then suddenly we're like, bam!
Yeah, or
we
even
slam it down.
Or even if you don't slam it down, even if you just try nicely to put it down, if people aren't used to that.
Yeah, and they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You've said yes to this for years.
Yeah, and it's probably going to piss them off because it means that they can't keep passing that line of what is appropriate and what isn't.
Versus just having a boundary. Very nice boundary. There's my fence. This is my yard. That's your yard. Good to see you. You know?
And that's hard for me because for me, I do have this issue that I'm working through with boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
And that like boundaries don't mean that you're mean. Like that's a very important thing for me to learn.
That's a very good point. No, they don't mean you're mean at all.
A boundary doesn't mean that you're mean. You know, even just setting like, even I'm just noticing myself, I'm feeling this as we're showing like the new space to people and trying to find potential renters. And, you know, everyone's like, well, how much is it going to be a square foot? And I'm like, you know, I don't know yet, but we're very excited to like work with people, you know, and I can already feel myself being like, oh, I would make a concession for you, or I'd figure out how to bend this, you know, because will it work for you? How do I make this work for you?
Yes.
Like that's something I do constantly. How do I make this work for you?
But then you get mad eventually.
And then eventually I get mad because at the beginning, I have a hard time of setting the boundary at the beginning. So that's where my work needs to be, which then there's no confusion. And I think conflict also comes from confusion. There's confusion. So then it's like, okay, well, if I just am very clear about this is what I expect, or this is what I want, or, you know, I don't know, even thinking about it in less of those terms, but in a partnership or a friendship or, you know, whatever, it's like, if we can just say it from the beginning, before the conflict arises, then I think that can help reduce conflict.
Yeah, that's a very good point. One, you have to know what's going to cause conflict.
Can you
Because sometimes, well, like boundaries, probably you can tell. You know what I mean? Like even now what you're saying, as you're reflecting about the office space. Yeah. Like you're like, no, that might cause conflict.
Right.
You know, down the line.
Totally, yeah.
So, and I think that's nice how we need to think through those things. Like, okay, so I'm saying yes to whatever, the party on Saturday. Right. But now let me think on that because whatever, I haven't been home for 5 days. You're trying to think of all the things that you're like, maybe I should say no.
Yeah,
exactly. Versus just going with the flow.
Yeah. Okay. And then maybe the party comes on Saturday and I don't show up. And then my friend takes it personally because I didn't go. When in the beginning, I should have just said, you know what, I'm probably not going to make it because it's going to be a big week for me.
Weekend,
and it's not going to,
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, totally.
This is what that is such a good, I think you just have to be like, right now, a friend of mine is trying to get me to rent an office space.
Oh,
and I feel like I should rent it. Like I was talking to my family, like, well, it'll just be easier for them if I rent it.
Right.
And everyone's like, why? But do you need it? And I'm like, not really. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, then why would you do that? Mm-hmm. Well, all because I don't want to make the person.
You don't want conflict.
I don't want conflict, and I want to take care of them. Like, that'll be easier for them if I just do it.
Yeah, right.
And my husband's like, well, yeah. He's like, but don't you think you might have conflict with that later?
Yeah, that's
where
such
you're
a good point.
doing that and doing that and doing that. You're not really using it. You're just paying someone for something you're not really using, and you did it just to make them happy.
Yeah.
He's like, you feel fine with that now. He's like, I don't know. You may not feel fine with it in a year.
After you've spent thousands of dollars, for the space you're not using.
And I'm like, yeah, but I still haven't written to the person. He's already talked to my husband, but I feel like I should, I'm trying to take so long to just write the text. Like, I really enjoyed it. I like the space. However, this has been a friend of mine for years. Like, he knows me. I'm sure he's like, okay, she's not going to respond now. Yeah. But I'm like, come on, B, get it together.
Just do it.
He likes me no matter what. He's liked me for 15, 20 years. He's still going to like me. Yeah. Even if I don't rent his office space.
Totally.
Totally. But here I am, but that must be a childhood thing. It's like almost like a little kid responding.
Yeah, right.
Versus a grown-up person. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, who are you? Like, hello, Bernice, hello. Yes?
Isn't that funny?
Can you respond? I don't think I can. Why not?
What if he doesn't like me?
What if he doesn't like me? He's like, but he will like you. Remember, he's liked you for a long time. He's your friend.
Yeah.
He totally gets you.
Yeah.
But he really needs it rented. But that's not your
that's
job.
That's not your
job. Your job isn't to make everyone like, here you go, Kaylee, I bought a house for you, just so you wouldn't have stress.
Yeah.
And then later I'm like, God, why don't I in the house?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like,
don't you think it's even interesting with these like personality types though? Because sometimes I think that people can see who those people are, and then they're like, that person. I'm going to get whatever I need and want from that person because they have bad boundaries or they have a hard time saying no. I think people can pick up on that right away.
I only do it with my friends.
What?
My boundaries are worse with my friends.
Oh, yeah.
Than with people I don't. Well, because I don't care about people I don't. I mean, I care about all of you.
She likes you. I promise. She may not remember your name, but she likes you.
Hello. But that is very childlike that it's these people that are very important to me that I put too much weight on.
That you have bad boundaries with them.
But every other person, it's like my renters or even in the office. It's like, yes, this is due at this time. It's due on Friday at 5 p.m.
Right.
Then I send them again. Friday. I mean, it's totally like, that makes sense, right?
That makes sense. But see, that's you being logical.
I love the logical.
And reasonable. Because it's like, these are the rules.
Good point.
Like, you can't get emotional about this because this is the rule.
And I feel like I'm going to a book of some sort.
Yeah.
Like, that's the rule. It's on page 15.
But that makes so much sense. It's like, nope, this is what it is. But I think that's why it's important to establish upfront immediately without emotion. Mm-hmm. I'm really feeling for you, so we'll just do your rent this. And then, and then once you do that.
Oh, no, then you're in big trouble. Yes.
Yeah.
I started that way, and I was always like,
I'm screwed here.
I'm super screwed. And then some people were mean.
Oh, sure, yeah. Well,
some people were mean, and then I realized, like, no.
Make it totally just it's factual, it's logical.
I'm giving you a service, you're paying for the service.
And if for some reason you need the rules changed or you need something different for this month, then we can be reasonable.
Yes.
But maybe then get it in writing and say, okay, this month, we're going to give you an extension by 2 weeks.
But that's it.
But then for me, then it feels like, but how can I be a loving person if I have to act that way?
Right. Although I've noticed with my rentals, they're way better.
See, I know. And that's
they're there's hardly any conflict because everybody knows,
everybody knows.
And they think I'm nice. They don't think I'm mean.
But Even though you have boundaries.
I have boundaries and they know, she needs the rent on the 5th at 5 p.m. Otherwise, she sends you a bunch of text messages and emails. And they're like,
you're breaking my heart by not paying me. Oh my God, this is the worst.
I'm like, you will be evicted, and I put a notice on your door.
Oh my God.
In a gentle way.
I'm gently going to have to evict you.
Yes, but it's been so much.
Not you.
It's me. And I accept that because I'm not a bank. Wish I was. And if I was a bank, I'd be worse.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Good point.
But those have gone way better.
Isn't that interesting for you? It's well, and we've talked about this many times, and I think this is just who we are. But for you, you put so much weight and you're boundaryless with those who are closest to you.
Totally boundaryless.
But I'm the opposite.
Yeah, you're the opposite.
Like, I'm boundaryless with people that I'm not super close to.
Yeah, I'm always like,
I'm close
what
to.
are you doing? I'm like, we don't know him. You know, or, you know, you're always like, come in, da 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 da, which is great because it's a good, you know, it's good for a business, like be very welcoming and stuff. But sometimes I'm like, we don't know that person.
That's so funny.
You know, and I'm
I wonder why. I wonder what the difference is.
I don't know. Something about our upbringing.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Something different.
I don't know. You don't think it's just a personality thing?
It could be a personality, but it must have been enhanced somewhere down the way because you're so like...
I know I am.
You're like, she was amazing. I'm like, I don't know her. You know, what's her history? What's her name? Where'd she come from? Is she married? How many children? What's her job? And I'm like, can I see into your soul? And you're like, it doesn't matter.
I really like people.
Yeah, and that's what makes you so good at this business.
Yeah.
You know, because
I love people. I mean, I do. I really love people.
And I love people. You love people.
You do love people. And I think that we both love people.
Mm-hmm.
We
do.
In
different ways. Sometimes, I think. Mm-hmm. But we always are grateful for all the people we get to work with.
And I think one of the things that, you know, has just become, it's just really important to both of us is that the work we do through ULA helps people love themselves, not love us.
Yes, never us.
It's never about us. It should never be about a person. Mm-hmm. ULA should help people love themselves more.
Yes.
You know, and so in a way, I feel like that does allow for some boundaries because it's like, it's not about me.
Right, yeah.
You know, like you don't have to love me.
And I'm like, please don't love me. I'm
you don't have to love me.
Flawed in so many different ways.
I mean, but people love to love a flawed person. You know,
they do.
It's not that
But hopefully it's more like a mirror. Like, you see the flawed person.
Yes.
And you're like, that's you.
Right.
Like, you're looking at me, but that's you.
Totally.
And that's when it's real. I think that's when it really works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like you're saying, then you don't carry the weight of this.
Then you don't carry the weight. Like, oh my gosh, I have to take care of all these people. No, it's like, I hope that people learn and want to take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I think that there is a little bit less of, you know, like...
That's a great healing, too. Because
it's such a great healing.
It's not dependence.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you, as we talk about in intimate relationships, you don't want this dependence.
Right.
Because if the person goes or whatever, there's not wholeness.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's like, I want my bucket to be full. Yeah. And then if your bucket is full, then you have all of that fullness to give to those who may be suffering, I think.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Like, I feel like in a marriage, though, like, I am dependent.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an exception right there.
And your children.
Your kids.
I'm kind of dependent on them.
You're like family. You're like, you know, who lives in your house.
But even those people, like the people say... I mean, you're always going to be dependent on those people. But hopefully, if something horrible should happen, that you would be able to make it through.
Well, sure. But I think it also going back to, like, you know, I think going back to childhood, I think that, I was always taught to be able to figure out how to do everything on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of my work as to grow is to learn to be dependent on other people.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So in a way, it's like almost harder for me to be like fully dependent on people because that's a scarier thing than figuring out how to be able to do things on my own.
Right.
And so I think it just kind of depends on where you're at and what your life story is and what type of work you need to do. Because, you know, for me, like when I have conflict, my response is usually to pull away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
so I like for me, I'm like, okay, here's conflict. Like, I'll figure out how to do this on my own. Mm-hmm. Like, I can figure out how to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder for me to lean into the relationship when there's conflict.
Well, yeah, conflict in intimate relationship is tough.
But even with non-intimate relationships, you know, just like leaning into conflict is hard.
Oh, yeah.
My initial response is to pull away. Some people I think are like, love the conflict. Like the lady you're talking about at the end of the house or the lady with me at the movie theater.
I think they
those
thrive
people,
on it.
Yeah.
You know, it gives them a little kick, you know, energy boost. And then they're like, I'm alive.
Yeah. So I don't think everyone wants to pull away from conflict. I think some people get fueled up from it.
Yes. Yep. Sometimes I do, but more with strangers.
I think, yeah. Well, yeah.
What do you believe in? And then suddenly it's like, my daughter's like, you need to leave the table now. And I'm like, pardon?
She's like, you're done here, lady.
I thought we were having a good debate, a good old smackdown. She's like,
isn't this fun?
Everyone's feeling uncomfortable now about your opinion, which was stated way too loudly and forcefully. I apologize.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's just interesting to think about it though. You know?
And how we stand with conflict and how do you lean in terms of dependence and independence too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I could, in my situation, I could have been like, okay, well, we need to figure out how to work. Like we can work together through some of this or whatever, just figuring out where you stand in it. I mean, I think that usually leaning into problems, well, I don't know. I don't want to say that, but I think avoiding problems usually makes them worse.
They do. I think it totally does. I agree. I do that a lot. Mm-hmm. And I have to say,
do they go away?
No, they get worse.
I wonder, some problems
go away. The smaller ones where you're not going to see the person very much.
It's like whatever.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But the ones where we're with the people, that is problematic. Because every day it's like, you never address this problem.
Right.
And everyone kind of feels it.
Right.
Until finally, as I said, it burst open. And then it's like, wow, big problem.
That's a big thing you got in there.
It was that big, actually.
I just saw a study. I think someone from ULA posted it, that women who suppress their emotions are like at some crazy percentage higher at risk for a stroke.
Oh my goodness.
I know. You can't do that. You can't stuff it all down there.
I don't think men can either. I think it's bad.
I'm sure it's bad for anyone. This one was just like specific about women.
But I love that takes us back to the topic we did a few weeks ago in terms of like, do you just always express your emotions? You know what I mean? Because then you get in that weird, like, I'm expressing myself now.
Yeah, right. This is just me expressing how I feel, okay? If I stuff it down, I'm going to have a stroke.
Exactly.
Do you want me to die? Or do you want me to tell you that I'm upset?
Right. Like, there's got to be, like, we're living on an island.
Yeah, right.
So we all have to sort of take some of the stuff. Like, I think it's my stuff. I apologize.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
I don't need to put it on you right now.
Totally.
Or sort of reflecting on
I was thinking about this podcast, because I listen to other podcasts. I usually listen to self-help podcasts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, I don't know. Go figure. But I was laughing because I feel like most of them, like, give advice, or these are the tips, or these are the different things you can do. I feel like our podcast is always just like, well, I don't know.
I don't know. Good luck.
Good luck. These are the things.
Do you have any answers? Anyone have answers?
That we struggle with.
Yeah.
Good luck. But I think it's just good. We were talking about, we leave for Tulum on Friday, and we were just talking about like what parts we were feeling nervous about or whatever. And, we were just talking about the workshops and actually the work we do in Tulum. And we were just talking about, well, we don't have to have the answers. No. We just have to hold space for people to explore the questions.
Yeah, that's...
and that kind of takes so much pressure off. Nobody has to have the answers. It's just, are you willing to explore the questions?
Yeah, together.
Yeah, and then do it together, which makes it so much more enjoyable.
That's the beauty.
That's the broody.
It's
beautiful.
It's brutal.
Sometimes it's brutal.
Brave, honest, and beautiful. It's beautiful and brutal at the same time.
Brutal to do this work in a group.
Yeah, it is. But the group is so, when we first started doing it, it was kind of scary, like, a group.
Yeah, but it felt way scarier.
But I love group work because it's always like you're saying, you don't have to answer, and the group becomes its own entity over a period of time. Like suddenly the group is like, here's this and here's that. How about this and how about that?
Right. And I think hopefully with this podcast, the beauty is that you guys listening can just like, how do I interact in conflict, or how does conflict affect me? Or is there conflict I'm avoiding in my life right now? Or, do I have a hard time putting up boundaries, or have I thought about, different ways to approach different situations or whatever?
Right. Yeah. So, it makes it makes questions.
It makes questions. And I love that you always say, be like, you are the expert on you.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's so great to just actually do. There are so many people who aren't even willing to do any of their own personal work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're always looking for the answer.
You tell me the answer. Well, I don't. Nobody has the answer.
I don't
Nobody
know.
knows
I'm
what's
not
best
sure.
for you.
Yeah, you know, maybe
try breathing.
Yeah. How about some deep breathing? How about relaxing your facial muscles?
I was saying, I'm grateful for this moment.
How about repeating some affirmations from Kaylee's recording?
I welcome challenges. Challenges help me grow.
Challenges help me grow. Oh my gosh, I'm never going to know those
you know
affirmations.
What? Here's the thing. You keep talking about them, so obviously they are impactful and important.
And it's anchored in my brain.
It's anchored in your brain.
Quite effectively.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's kind of like those bad jingles. You know how they'd come out with in the old days for advertisements and stuff? And some of those jingles are still in our head.
Oh, they totally are.
Songs or...
Oh, get this. My kids don't know what commercials are.
Oh, yeah, because we
don't watch TV. We just have, like, Netflix and stuff.
Right.
So whenever we're actually, like, you know, whenever we have the rare opportunity and we watch a real TV, they're like, I don't want to watch this. I'm like, you're not watching this.
Oh, I heard them
This is a commercial. I don't want to watch this. It's like, we're not. You have no patience, children.
Oh, because they think it's like someone's picking that. They're going to have to watch it now.
And then they're like, I want to watch whatever. And I'm like, well, that show's not on right now. They're like, well, put it on. Because with Netflix, you get to pick whatever you want to watch at any moment, and you have no commercials. And now kids these days, they don't understand that you only got to watch what was showing at that time, and you had to sit through commercials.
Yeah, always sit through commercials.
Like, they didn't understand. They don't understand that.
Oh no, I've never even thought of that.
Isn't that so interesting?
And now for like people before the advent of cellular phones and stuff.
Cellular phones and stuff. Sounds so technologically savvy.
Cellular data.
You know those cellular phones that we are all using these days?
But we all know, like, jingles.
Yeah, oh yeah, our kids don't know jingles.
They won't know these dumb jingles. They won't know jingles. Like, and that's how the affirmations is stuck in my head.
It's totally stuck.
Because the brain loves that kind of stuff.
Do you know the weirdest one that's always stuck in my head? Anyone from Helena? You guys might remember this. Montana Valley hams. Ding.
That was there. And that's a very common...
Montana Valley hams.
Ew, would you buy those?
No, I just heard commercials for it all the time as a kid.
Montana Valley hams. Ding. But look at the brain.
No, exactly. It's anchored in there. I will remember that jingle for the rest of my life. I don't even eat ham.
Yeah.
You know, it's like... It's very interesting.
And they were playing jingles. I can't remember any right now, but there was Ivory soap. And,
oh, yeah.
There was like the other one, but the Irish soap. I can't remember that. And I like it too. She would always say,
the luck of the Irish.
Yeah. And she was like, and I like it too. And it was like a green soap. You guys probably remember it. I can't remember the name of it right now. But
they make it still.
I think they still do
Irish Spring or something?
Irish Spring. And then the man would be doing it, and then the woman was all, and I like it too.
They're like, it's not just for the men. You gotta have a lady.
Look at the pretty lady likes it as well. But it's funny how that's like stuck in my head.
Totally. Well, yeah, there you go. See, that's the power of affirmations. That's the power of just...
And that's what our children are missing out on right now.
Montana Valley hams.
And
right there.
I like it too. Irish Spring. A green soap. I'm sure it's good for you. Enjoy.
Yeah, right. That soap smells so strong.
Very strong.
Wow, that's a powerful soap. How many chemicals do you think went into making that soap?
You will not smell like anything except Irish Spring.
That's right.
Wow, Irish Spring. It must be very... smellful over in Ireland in the spring. Bountiful smells.
Odiferous.
Odiferous. In this coniferous forest. It's odiferous.
Oh my God. Well, anyways, conflict. I don't think we have any solutions for you, but that's not what this podcast is about.
But it might be more about like identifying or being curious about how you deal with conflict.
And do you have some conflicts that you need to go deal with, people? Anyone out there?
Yes.
Do you have a conflict that's weighing on you?
Yes.
What can you do? Can you lean in? Can you approach it with logic and reason? I hate that Rob is so much more wise than me.
I love logic. He's not wise. You're more emotionally wise. Remember they say that for kids.
And organized.
I thought you were going to say more orgasmic.
I am that as well. Aren't all women though?
I'm more orgasmic.
I am orgasmic.
Nice.
About 5 times more.
better take her down for that, Rob, if you're listening.
Take me down.
Take her down.
Oh, see, every week it gets more and more inappropriate. Anyway.
Have your children listen.
Conflict. Go resolve it on your own.
Comment if you want. How do you do conflict? In your room?
Stop it.
On the playground? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, enough.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.